Hello everyone. So far, we set up two network instances. One is NAT instance. The other one is VPN instance. In terms of NAT instance, basically they provide the internet access to the EC2 instance in public subnet. Even though they don't have the public IP address, they can access to the internet through the NAT instance. On the other hand, outside of the VPC, any of the machine cannot access to the EC2 instance directly. This is because this EC2 instance does not have the public IP address. So this is security design. Right? So in terms of VPN instance, it provides a VPN service. In my case, I use a local virtual machine in my computer to set up the VPN client and then establish the VPN connection, then access to any of the EC2 instance inside of the VPC. So that is quite good security because we set up the secure connection and also we open only two ports, which is 443 and 1194 to the public internet. So we just minimize the risk and then also increase the security. So that's pretty good design so far. Alright, so now I can see a little bit redundancy in this area. So I can see the two EC2 instances and then they provide different service individually. If this is an enterprise environment, like 100,000 of EC2 instances are running, probably a good idea to keep them separate. But like myself, it's a very tiny environment. It's a little bit too much. So I decided to put them together. Like this, and also we save cost. That I'm going to do in this video. Okay, so before we make any change, let's take a snapshot of VPN instance in case something happened. Right? So go to the EC2 page and go to the snapshot page and then click create snapshot button. So make sure you select the volume. Select the volume of VPN server, which is this. You can see the dev VPN EN001. So this is one. And the description. Right, something like this. And then create snapshot. Okay, so now we are creating a snapshot. Status is pending. So this size is only 8 GB. It takes about 2-3 minutes. In the meantime, let's put the tag here. Yeah, something like this. Alright, after a few minutes, let's refresh the page and check the status. Right, so now status is completed. It's good. The next step is go back to the EC2 instance page. And then select the VPN server. So go to Action, Network, and then change Source Destination Check. Make sure this option is checked. We enable this option when we set up the VPN server. NAT instance also required to enable this option. So make sure you enable this option. So next step is the security group. Let's go back to the network diagram. So we need to make sure this NAT instance accepts the 443 and 40 from the VPC network. And also we need to open port 22. Something like this. A little bit messy, but let me explain what I'm trying to say here. So I open the port 22 to the VPC environment. So only the EC2 instance inside of VPC can remote access to this VPN instance through the port 22, which is SSH connection. So this port is not exposed to the internet. So this is for the security reason. Right, so next step is we are going to make sure this VPN instance opens the port 443, 80, and then 22. So let's go to the EC2 page, right, and then open the VPN server here. And then when we go to the security page, we can see that all the ports currently open. So we can see the 443 and the 1194 against the internet. So let's go check the network. So this port 443 and 1194, this is only set in the EC2 instance so far. So we need to add those 3 ports, right? To do this, go to action and security and change security group. All right. Let's add a security group. The first one is a NAT. This is a security group for NAT instance, right? And then one more thing is a remote access for Linux device, which is here, Linux internal, and add the security group and save it. Okay, so go back to the security tab again. Now we can see 3 security groups assigned to this device. So now I can see port 22 is open from VPC and also from VPN connection. The other one is port 443 and 80 from VPC. So let's go check the network. 443 and 80 is from VPC. And also port 22 is from VPC plus VPN connection. Because I remote access through the VPN connection and then go back to this port again. So this means I need to open the connection from the VPN connection. That's the reason I set it up like this. Alright, so that's all good. Alright, so now we are going to make a change in the root table. So let's go to the VPC and go to root table page. So in the network diagram, this machine is in the private subnet. So let's go to the private root table. Now we can see the first instance is black hole. So we are going to fix that. So click edit root. And then this o.o.o.o/o is to the internet connection. We are going to set the VPN instance as a target. So let's delete this one and select the instance. And then make sure you select the VPN instance here. And then click Save Change. Okay, so now you can see all the status is active. And then you can see the target network ID is the same because the top one is for the internet connection. The other one is VPN connection service. All right, so that's good. Now we are going to remote access to the VPN instance.